get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Re-Rack. I am Nathan Brantley. This is Cory Clossy. This is a, relatively normal episode that you'd be used to because you see there's nothing here. It's just us. So on today's episode, we're actually going to go back in time and talk about the things that we did not touch at all. Those things being the Indianapolis Open, the doubles tournament that occurred immediately, well, I guess before in the same time as the Indy Open, and then the World Championships. So you want to start with, I guess we'll go in chronological.
Yeah.
Do you want to go in chronological order? Because that would technically be the doubles, wouldn't it?
Technically. But
You want to go in show order?
But the show order.
Okay, we'll go in show order. Because to everybody else who doesn't nerd out over bowling and pay attention to the timeline of when things are bowled, the Indy Open comes first. So we'll talk about that. Your top five looked like, this is good. I had to go back and watch them on YouTube because it's been so long. I forgot who was on these shows. I watched this show and I forgot who was on the show. We got your top five going from the bottom: Smallwood, Tom Smallwood, Nick Pate, Anthony Simonson, Sean Maldonado, and Jesper Svensson, with Jesper taking late W. It was kind of awesome. Going back, I actually watched most of it again today. It's kind of cool to see Nick Pate come out and try to make a run. He was trying to make a push, make it happen, get his first title. Yeah.
That's what I was rooting for.
I feel like there's a piece of it that they completely ignore the fact that people have been on TV in college.
Yeah.
So they hype up your first TV experience. He's been on TV multiple times.
Yeah.
He was on TV, pretty sure when they went to the team, when they did ITCs.
Yeah.
May not have bowled a whole lot in Able. I don't recall. I didn't watch that show. But I know he made ISCs, and he won.
Yeah,
he was the Collegiate Player of the Year. It's not like he's on Team USA. Like, there's no stranger to... Yeah, like, this isn't like a
just
random amateur who didn't know what he was doing. Like, he knew what he was doing, which is exactly why he didn't freak out. It was completely okay. But, yeah, Jesper got his W. Well-deserved, because he made that entire week his minion. It was disrespectful that entire week. But, congratulations to Jesper.
Title number 9.
If I do remember right, earlier when we first started talking about the season, I said that Jesper was probably going to come back and start doing some things. If not, then this is me saying that I said it because I'm a fan of Jesper. And yeah, it was because he was too low in the rankings for me. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, since this is him showing why I thought he should have been higher.
He may not be top 10, but he's definitely.
Oh yeah. Most def. Because of course, if you're looking for the duration of the season, he hasn't put up enough numbers to dignify the top 10 slots. Mm-hmm. But for sure, he's right outside knocking at the door.
Yeah.
And also because of what he did this week, you have the double situation. We're not saying Kyle Troup hasn't been on a hot streak, but that man, Jesper Svensson, mama, there goes that man.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness gracious. One thing they said on this Indianapolis Open show that I thought was interesting is they're talking about the $1 million for the title match situation. And this is the first time this season that they openly said, yeah, today I feel like we could give away $1 million because Jesper's on the show and he's going to strike a lot.
They were saying that all week.
Yeah, and no other show, at least to my knowledge, did they ever come out and say, oh yeah, this person's in the title match, they're definitely going to drop bills. No, Belmo's been on the show plenty of time. All of these people, these hitters who have had 300s in qualifying. Mm-hmm. In this show, Nick Pate was one of the people who had a 300 at the Indianapolis Open. Did not once say that Nick Pate could have done it if he made it to the title match. They literally only said it about Jesper. And I thought that that's a credit to him because the tour agrees that when he's on ridiculously. And no one can outstrike him. I think there's 3 people in that company, which I find entertaining. Belmo, Buttriff, and Jesper. When they are striking a ton, it's really hard to keep up. But then when you go and ask Belmo, he said that Jesper can outstrike him if they're both on.
Yeah.
But then Buttriff, it's really hard to outstrike Jacob Buttriff. Really hard. Like, if he has it, it's it's really hard.
Them two are locked in the second they find it.
Can we say it's because they're left-handed? I wouldn't say it's because they're left-handed, because they're both left-handed urethanes. You could say it, but I'm not going to say it and discount their skills, because either way, that's ridiculous. No, whenever anybody has their pattern that they love a lot, no one strikes nearly that much as those three. Not one person on the tour.
And this was a dual pattern too, so Jesper ran over it like it was nothing.
True. I would say a person that is close to that I'm going to throw away my biases and be completely honest. A person who's close to that, who should be mentioned in those three, is Sean Rash on short patterns.
Yeah.
Those Sean Rash on short patterns, as you saw when he put up an 800 on his way to the title with a completely different company. Sean Rash on sport patterns, you're not really going to get
shiny
him like
ball
that.
too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he's throwing. Yeah. Any type of resin in his hand on a short pattern, he's going to strike for days. So put him in that conversation too, because he deserves it, because time and time again, Wolf is literally his baby. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Sean Rash and Wolf, not really a favorite.
Just like the World Championship pattern is Belmo's baby.
Exactly. So everybody has their pattern, but we're going to say those four of them have the ability to outstrike everybody whenever it happens. But onward and upward, double show. Your top 5 goes as follows: Dom Barrett and Anthony Simonson, Osku Palermo and Jacob Buttriff, Chris Prather and Andrew Anderson, Marshall Kent and EJ Tackett are your 2 seed, and then Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop are your 1 seed. We know how that went. I knew when I watched the Indianapolis Open, because once again, we're bowling nerds. I already knew who won. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to Jesper, because that's number 10.
Yeah, Hall of Fame eligible.
Which, he's 24?
Something like that.
24, 25. He's in the ballpark of my age, which makes
he's
it
under
feel like
25.
I'm really not doing anything. We got to step our game up. But, yeah, that's ridiculous. And if you look at the field, that's a stacked field. That's Player of the Year, Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Year, U.S. Open.
There's a Masters winner in there, too.
That's a field. And then bowling together, Man. There's also some interesting pairings in there. I wouldn't have guessed that Dom Barrett and Anthony Simonson would have been on a team together.
Yeah,
wouldn't have guessed that.
That one caught me off guard.
Same with Osku Palermo and Buttriff.
That one made a little more sense than the first one, but I was still like,
Also, curious, Chris Prather and Andrew Anderson. Like, Kent and Tackett, that makes sense because they've been together before. But those, the 3, 4, 5 teams, I don't know.
But they're cool, but I was like...
I'm not mad at the pairings. Not mad at all. It just, just together, like, those people bowling together was kind of interesting. I mean, clearly it worked because they got to the show. I mean, they would have liked it to work a little bit more. Well, actually, we'll blame ball reaction because technically your team had nothing to do with that. You're bowling bay. That didn't have anything to do with it. They got tapped. A lot of them got tapped. But, yeah, congrats. Kyle Troop got his... How many is that for Kyle?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm not even going to guess because I don't want to get slaughtered in the comments, but...
I think it's under 10.
It is under 10. Where's ballpark number 6, 7? That just feels right.
Somewhere between 6 and 8.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 sounds right. But yeah, congrats to him. Got one after the tragic passing of his mother. Mm-hmm. Super awesome. Guppy was there.
Yeah, and it was a touching sight afterwards.
Yeah. And I feel like Jesper and Troop are good enough friends that like he might be. I feel like their friendship rivals like a Bill O'Neill, Jason Belmonte relationship. I feel like that's a thing.
They are rivals. I don't know if they can touch that though.
Oh yeah, no.
Belmo doesn't have to bring anything to the States.
No,
because Bill's got him covered
every single time.
William.
The only person on tour who could call him William.
I didn't call him William. I'm just saying Belmo calls him William.
Yeah,
I don't want to get slaughtered.
Exactly. No. No one else can call him that but Belmo because their relationship is just hilarious. I actually really enjoy it when they bowl against each other. I really do.
Okay.
It reminds me of the, I guess if you want to call it a storyline, the Chris Mika situation of before, where you just had those two really good friends. They were roommates. This is that and the other. And whenever they bowled, they're both ridiculously good at bowling. Mm-hmm. So every time you never know who's going to win. Because Bill could easily snap off a 260 for fun, and Belmo could struggle to get the 10 out. It goes back and forth. And yeah, so I think that is the current Mika and Chris, and then Jesper and Troop are the future. I'm sure there's a pairing before that I'm not speaking of. So if there's
Mark Broth, Marshall Holman.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they were, personality-wise.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know if they were that cool together.
Also before my time.
Which I don't want any old heads who are watching to try to kill us. Like, how dare you not talk about this duo who they were friends and I didn't know. I don't need to hear all that. So I'm just talking about what I know.
I'm assuming they're good friends, but I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. So once again, Jesper, Hall of Fame eligible before 25.
And same with Simonson.
I really need to get my life together.
And what are we doing here?
He's making shows. It's okay. There's time. In time, somebody somewhere is going to recognize us for what we've done or what we will do.
We're on a nice show. Does that count for titles?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Good comparison.
Eventually, we're almost at 10. We are almost at 10. Episode 9 of 10. When we get to the 10th, we need to give ourselves some Hall of Fame jackets, something. But onward to more Hall of Fame resume people. The World Championships. Literally everybody. I can't say Chris Via yet because he's on his come up, but everybody else on that show.
2 straight major shows.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody else on that show already can make it. Give Frankie 3 years. Frankie's going to be there too. But the first 3 already Hall of Fame eligible. Ridiculous. If you don't remember, your top 5 goes as follows. Of course, starting from the bottom up. Chris Via is your 5 seed. Francois Lavoie is your 4 seed. Anthony Simonson is your 3 seed. EJ Tackett is your 2 seed. And Jason Belmonte is your 1 seed. This was held at South Point with no fans. This is the infamous this is the infamous show that nothing else was on TV except for bowling. So everybody had to watch bowling if they wanted to watch a sport. So woohoo for bowling. We have that crown. The UFC is trying to take it, but that's after. We did it before. We're the originals, so no one can take that away from us. But back to Chris Via. Yes, 2 major shows in a row. Yeah. I feel bad for him because he definitely just kind of...
He had the berries.
Yeah, okay, given he ran into a buzzsaw with Perry. That was just... You couldn't stop that. You couldn't. And then... That was a really good match. Him and Frankie, that was a really good match.
I thought we were going to have 300 and they go on a roll off.
It was ridiculous. And the only thing that stopped it is just got tapped. None of them, neither of them threw a bad shot. It was just who had the carry and who didn't. So I really enjoyed that match a lot. I hope Chris Via could come back from this break. I feel really bad because he was on a tear.
Well, he's definitely on the come up.
Yeah, and I really hope that this didn't kill his momentum because it's insane to make back-to-back shows like that. And I'm pretty sure that in the actual World Series, he's in cuts for...
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he made every cut in the World Series. So he easily could make those other shows. So I hope that when we come back to bowling, that Chris Via could keep everything going because it's super awesome. He's on the come-up and... For the longest, I feel like people thought he was not really, just kind of overhyped because he has his amateur titles and he has his Team USA label. He has his jacket, but he just wasn't producing on tour the way people, I feel like, thought he could have. So I'm super glad that he's prospering now and people could actually see it and give him the recognition that he deserves because he's a seriously good bowler.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's coming to fruition. What he's been working so hard to do.
It just sucks for him. There's so much other good talent right now.
Yeah, and it's so tragic. But like I said, he had a wave and the momentum going, and then this just stopped it. So I really hope that he could have found a means to keep working on his craft in this weird time of quarantine and shutdowns. And he comes back still better than ever because he deserves it. And I really hope he has a great rest of the year and ends up in the playoffs. I'd love to see him in the playoffs. I'd love to. But, keep going, talking about the World Championships. Francois doing Francois things. He's having a great year. I really hope he keeps it going. Yeah, you never know. You never know. But I really hope he keeps going. Really hope he has more success in this coming year with the Masters, whenever the Masters may be, whenever the rest of the World Series is held. I'd love to see him keep doing things because just to get on the show like this, it was a really good show. Like looking at these names, it's so good.
It was exciting.
Yeah, it feels good to look at, like, to talk about bowling and look at things and still register, like, wow, like, this was on. And, like, people got, this is a good show for the PBA to showcase their talents because they just, like, this, it's just, you got the face of the brand, you got other Hall of Famers, you got young talent showing up against other young talent, phenoms on it. This was a really good show for the PBA to have during this time. And I feel like it went underappreciated secretly. It was very underappreciated because you didn't have the fans there. You didn't have the hype there it wasn't able to be hyped the way it was supposed to be hyped because everybody was focused on the Corona. But Belmo got himself another world championship because that pattern is his baby.
Yes.
And I thought it was really cool how his family got to be there.
Oh yeah, they got to see both of his 300s that week too.
That was another entertaining thing that I heard on the show. Is he said that he was trying to throw a 300 for each of his kids, and he only got to 2 instead of 3. So we're gonna say it's for the 2 oldest ones. Well, his oldest and his middle.
Title for the 3rd one.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You could say you came home with 3 things. Things. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. That even though there wasn't the ability to have normal fans, that they still could make it so that they had their families around. Everybody's family or close friends were there, and I thought that was really cool. Awesome. Hats off to the PBA for still allowing that to happen, so they didn't just have to bowl by themselves. Like
even
it was
boosted
just
up the prize fund too.
Yeah. Like I like that. I like that a lot. It was once again, I can't say it enough. That was a really good show. Really good show. But speaking of the Rona and all of the bowling and whenever we could come back or how it's affecting us, the USBC, in prepping for us returning to competition on whatever level, made some amendments. Well, used their power to make some tweaks to the rules to make it so that we could still compete in these weird times. Rule 18, if you're one of those people who actually looks at the articles and looks through the rules and knows exactly the rules by numbers, I don't. I just wrote it down. Yeah. But Rule 18 discusses using cleaners on your ball while you're in competition. That rule has been relaxed in only one way, and it's for rubbing alcohol to be used to clean off your fingers and anywhere else on the ball. And that's because, according to the CDC, rubbing alcohol can be used to combat some of the germs that are left on your ball from Corona. So if anybody around you has it, that's a potential failsafe to help it so you don't contract it as quickly via your bowling ball. So that we
do want this to be over and not start again.
Yeah. No way. And especially if you want to go back to doing things that you love, like bowling, we don't want you to suffer by going back to doing normal things. So that's one of the things that they did in order to assist that. Another thing that they decided to do was to change the rules that stated that you had to use a pair. You had to bowl 5 frames on each lane to receive recognition for your scores to count, for your high league averages to work, for your honor scores to be registered. Instead, you could just bowl on one lane. You could bowl all 10 frames on one lane, and all of those things, the scores, the honor scores, the high average, all of those things could still be awarded and recognized because of the relaxation of the rule, which I get it. I do get it. It's just gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really weird.
I think everything's gonna be weird for a
Yeah,
while.
I feel like I'm gonna feel like my league might just stop. I kind of hope it just stops and they just pay out. But I feel like I'm gonna take a second to not come back immediately. But I also don't know what tournaments are just gonna come back immediately.
I think everyone's gonna play it safe.
For the most part, there's one tournament that I guess I have money in already. I have a Lucy spot saved, but I don't know because they have. That's the one tournament I'm looking at. Everything else, whatever.
Yeah,
like I had some regional scheduled, but I hadn't actually put money into that. But I do have money sitting in the Lucy, so
that's a nice little pretty penny there.
Yes, that's the one tournament that I personally am waiting on to see what they say. I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe I just haven't been looking hard enough. I'm not sure because state by state, the rules are different and the phases are different. So, see, we're talking about phases, bowling balls.
Yeah.
But,
good pun
yeah,
there.
I do what I can. But, yeah, each state is doing their own thing. So I'm not quite sure what Texas is doing. And then with what Texas is doing, I'm not sure what the PBA is going to allow.
Yeah.
Because technically that counts as a PBA event. So I don't know if the PBA would go ahead and push that because they've already rescheduled. Well, they canceled Junior Gold, which is also in July. They moved the USBCs, and they both women's and the normal open. And all of those are in the fall, way later in the year. But I haven't heard anything about the actual schedule and how they're going to work that out. So I shall stay tuned to that. But, yeah, that's in July. That gives us...
We need to open up bowling alleys first before we can worry about
Yeah. Which
save the bowling alleys.
Yeah, for us here, we have it's the 18th, which is that next week or the week after.
Yeah.
So our bowling alleys here in Kansas could open up starting next week, which will ease into the process, and we'll see how well that's working. But then you gotta see what's gonna happen from there. So
they also need support too.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Please, whenever they open, I get it's a weird time, but if you could just do something as simple as just going to practice.
He'll buy gift cards. I know the centers here in Wichita are selling gift cards.
They get the revenue now. Any money that you could put into the bowls right now when they open back up, please go ahead and do that because tragically, there's been a ton of bowling alleys that are not able to come back from being shut down for this long. And
if you actually love bowling, you need to help the bowling
most definitely, because without bowling alleys, you can't bowl. So it's not just a thing where, all right, cool, I'll go on to the next center, because if you live in a certain place, there could be no next center. Mm-hmm. So please do whatever you can to support the bowling alleys when they open. Whatever that may be, every little bit will help every bowling alley, I assure you. Because talking to proprietors, I know that this is a thing. Please help them as much as you can.
Yeah, bills did not stop.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sure your guys' bills don't stop, but bowling alleys have a lot bigger bills.
Yeah, so please support them whenever you can. As I said, if it's something as little as just grabbing a lane on the end of the house and just practicing, just throw whatever money you can at a bowling alley because without them, we are nothing.
Hell, you can even donate your prize fund.
That is an option that some people are doing, and I've heard of multitudes of people who've done it. I was talking to one of the proprietors in McPherson, and he said a lot of people had done that same thing. Or what you could do is, if you don't want to donate your entire prize fund, simply pay your lineage for the rest of the weeks that you would have been bowling. That is also not the entirety of your prize fund, but it's something.
50-50.
Yeah, just something to help the bowling alleys would be greatly appreciated. Just something. Help them out.
They look out for you
all the time.
Even offering this stuff.
Yeah, and you getting discounts on leagues or whatever it may be throughout the season, that's them taking a hit to support you. So it's only right that we go back and support them in their time of need. So, yes, support the bowl.
Yeah, we're all really quick to ask for discounts.
But
the bowling alleys take a hit on that.
And especially if we don't do this and a bowling alley comes back, prices could be ridiculous because they're just trying to catch up. Yeah. So, do whatever you can, if you can, to make it so that you could support your bowling alley. I know I would appreciate it if you did because I love bowling and it hurts me whenever I go to a different state and I see X amount of bowling alleys closed. So please do what you can. And
help grow the sport by keeping what we have and not losing what momentum we
Yes,
gained.
the motto is a future for the sport, and there is no future for the sport if bowling alleys can't stay open. Yeah. So that's. You got anything else?
No, just support your centers.
I
like my job.
Yeah, it's a message we cannot drive enough. Keep supporting the centers. I know that
this channel wouldn't even exist if we didn't have bowling.
Exactly. Yeah, bowling without bowling alleys, we are nothing. Absolutely nothing. I know for a fact that when it opens, I'm gonna go back and just keep chucking nuggets by my lonesome, just to put money back into the center. And I could tell you, because I have gotten the luxury to go practice, that it hurts. So you will need practice to get back into a form, which this could go off on another tangent of bowling is definitely a sport, because my wrist and my hamstrings hurt from bowling 4 games, which before all this bowling, I could bowl it 15 gamer plus and be perfectly fine.
That'd be fun the next
my
time to do
thumb
it again.
would be my thumb would be the only thing that hurts. But 4 games, I was out like a light right when I got home. Went to sleep super early because I was tired, and waking up today, my wrist is not happy with me, and neither are my legs. So I can tell you that you definitely will need to practice. You are not going to come back out of this break and be firing on all cylinders. Thankfully, I'd say my game is roughly 80% intact, but at the physical cost, no. If you ask me to bowl an 8-game sweeper, I don't know how much I could give you.
I'm out in that.
It's bad.
I'll give you 2 games.
Yeah, it's so bad right now. But yes, once again, practice is going to be essential whenever we come back. So go practice, go support your centers. It is vital that you do such things. But
go buy a burger.
Yeah. Eat food at your bowling alley, because bowling alleys actually have really good food. I don't know if you guys have actually tried the food there, but really, really good food. And my favorite bowling alleys are those who have like your old, nice little grandma type of lady working in the snack bar, and she could chef up the burger that you've known since you were a child. Your little bowling alley rats, you know what I'm talking about. Those, très magnifique. What I feel like secretly, there's some people out there that probably wished that bowling alley snack bars could have stayed open just so they could have got stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's some right now that are doing just takeout.
Really?
Curbside, like West Takers across town is doing.
See, that's dope. I like that. I like that a lot, because once again, that's another way to put money back into the center.
If you don't feel safe on going in, they'll bring it to your car.
Awesome.
You're helping them out.
I love that a lot.
Getting a nice little burger.
Most definitely. But support your centers. That's going to be the movement as soon as all this comes back. I'm never going to stop preaching it, because once again, without bowling, all of us are nothing. So support your bowling alleys. And that's all I got. I feel like Cory's in the same boat. So until next time, as I said before, we're back on a basically regular basis. So keep looking out for videos, like, subscribe, leave your comments. We see your comments. We'll do better at whatever you put in the comments. Speaking of a comment on our mock draft, we are aware that we messed up the managers for the teams.
Blame Nathan.
I am sorry. Reading is not hard. I just read in between some commas, and that's on me. My bad. I saw that comment and shook my head immediately that we put 40 minutes into an episode for a blunder in the first 10 minutes to be the highlight of the episode.
Oh, I think that was the first 5.
So I did look at that. I am sorry. I will do better. I'm a little rusty too, not only in bowling, but in making videos. I haven't made a video in months, so please cut me some slack. But keep looking out for some new videos, some new content. I know he has some ideas going on that we're going to make some things happen in re-rack and outside of re-rack. So thank you for the support as always. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.